One of the proofs that modern day feminism is a demonic, satanic, devilish ideology is the way these so-called feminists treat women who don't agree with them. All of a sudden, the women who hate oppression become oppressors and bullies. It's a cult of women who want to legislate their views and their ideologies on every woman. And any woman who expresses her agency to refuse feminist choices is labeled oppressed. Her husband is oppressing her. Her husband must be wicked to her. And, feminism really reduces women to infants, where they don't believe that women can deliberately make choices that feminists do not agree with. So because a woman submits to her husband, or because a woman, decides that, I don't believe in abortion, I don't believe in this, They're like, no. It's her husband. It's her husband. That's just one of the reasons why that group has so much toxicity, so much vile, so much vitriol, because it's a cult of witches. I said what I said. It's a cult of witches. If you claim to be for agency and freedom and choice, but you imprison women who do not agree with your opinions, then there is a problem. Then you are not really about choice. You have an agenda. Like, it's fine if you've chosen to be miserable, to be sad, to be lonely, to spend all of your God-given life hating on men and encourage women to be sex workers and encourage women to not get married because marriage is a patriarchal, institution. It's fine. But other women don't have to join you in that miserable, lowly life. Other women don't have to join you in that life. And women who've chosen that they've seen the light and they do not want to identify with that demonic coven, they have a choice. If you call yourself a feminist, you should be fine if women make choices that are not feminist choices. And if you're not fine with that, you are just a terrorist. And it's fine for you to be a terrorist. I mean, there are lots of cats in the world for you to get married to when you get to 50.
Have there been times where I've been unsubmissive to you, and how did you handle that?
Hold on one tenable minute. Excuse me?
Solomon Buchi does not like his wife. My first encounter with this man was when he actually proposed to his wife and wrote this whole long-ass text where you could possibly expect that he would be showering her with compliments or explaining why he chose to marry this woman. But no, instead he started off with, "You're not the most beautiful woman, neither are you the most this, the most intelligent, but I chose you." From that moment on, you people should have understood that this man who used such a unique moment, you only proposed to someone once to humble her, that he does not like her. Because objectively, everyone is aware that their partner will see someone more attractive, more handsome, more beautiful than them. But why would your partner use a moment where he is sharing your relationship with the world for the first time, sharing such a special moment, the first step towards you people becoming one, to remind you that you are not that great, and he basically compromised, and compromising is a good thing. He made it sound like he was settling. I even used the word, it was not compromising. He made it sound like he was settling for her. And wording is always very important when passing a message. He could have easily said, "I choose you with all your flaws, with everything that's beautiful about you. Start with the great things. I love the way you do this, you do that, the way you argue with me, the way you annoy me." There is a way you can praise your partner's flaws in the sense that you love them, but he made it clear, you are not perfect. You are not even close to perfect, but I still choose you. He made it seem like he had been coerced into this relationship, and he's convincing himself and others that that is what marriage is about. Marriage is about just manage the person. Just not manage and so in Cameroon, you see, you just tie hard, just manage the person. So, and he doesn't just dislike her, he generally dislikes women that are everything he could never be, he isn't, and will never be, which is successful in your domain and respected by your peers. Because even though he is spreading this message of feminism being demonic and satanic and modern feminism being so detrimental because it blurs the line between genders, what a man can do, a woman can do, what a woman can do, a man can do. Even though he spreads these outdated ideas, he interestingly does not fit the criteria of what it means to be a man according to these ideas. Because these same traditional values would expect you as the man to be a provider financially, emotionally. It would expect you to command respect when you go into a room, expect you to be dominant. Yet your wife is the breadwinner. Your wife is the person that works hard and studied and got all these accolades in order to bring you from Nigeria to Europe. Yet you are the one sitting at home, being very sassy, giving a lot of attitude, getting very emotional about topics that do not concern you, do not change your life, which is women living their lives as they please to. Yet you are the one who doesn't seem to have steady income. Yet you are the person whom men, your peers, men that have those traditional values that you propagate, would not respect. In a room full of men, African men that are very traditional, very misogynistic, all those things, do you think a man, a sassy man like Solomon Buchi, would even get like an ounce of respect? What Solomon Buchi fails to understand is that feminism would actually benefit men like him, men with very feminine character traits who do not fit the mold of what patriarchy deems a man to be. When I see Solomon Buchi, I see femininity, and I don't mean it in a bad way, because I'm very progressive and I believe that not every single man will be out there and beating his chest and shut up and stay quiet, even when he tries to exercise dominance. I saw this video of him talking to his wife and be like, "Shush, I'm speaking." It's not giving, babe. Even she was like, I know you ain't talking to me. And she does not seem submissive, because that's just not her. You cannot be submissive if you are the one providing, which is not a bad thing, but he just needs to accept that whatever he's trying to be or he would wish to be, you are not. And by coming on the internet and trying to come for women that you cannot control, women that remind you on a daily basis that you think you're a failure, because I don't think he's a failure, but you think you are a failure. And that's just why you get angry about these women that seem to be everything that you can never be, a respected member in society. While I'm sending healing energy your way, Solomon, and any other person that settled for a woman whose self-confidence you are trying to break in order to feel better about yourself. And good luck to her.
Have there been times where I've been unsubmissive to you, and how did you handle that?
There have been times in the early days of our marriage. I used to feel that way every day. Not like-
every day.
Obviously, I am
babe.
exaggerating, but it's not like every day. But for the majority, I'd feel like I wasn't being respected enough. I'd feel like you were not submitting the way I wanted you to submit. But something happened. That was when we were living in London. I was going down the stairs and I had a moment with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit said to me, "You are complaining that your wife does not submit to you, does not respect you well. Have you forgotten that you both are newlyweds and that she's learning to submit the same way you're learning to lead her, and that your best submission and your best leadership is not going to be in the first 5 years of your marriage."
Oh, that's so profound.
Yeah, and that conversation just basically opened my eye to see that people should give their partners grace because they've never done marriage before, so they don't even know what it means, like laying down, especially for a woman, laying down the life that she's lived before you, or before she met you for maybe 25 years or 27 years, and then handing it over to you and saying, take control of it.
Yeah.
You know, unless she's not a human being, there's going to be some hesitation here and there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And lots of adjusting.
And a lot
as
of
well.
adjusting. So,
Yeah.
submitting perfectly in marriage is procedural. It comes step by step. You know, it's not just something you expect immediately. You get married, your wife is going to say yes to everything you say. And I think that it was just in the early days that I used to feel very annoyed. But now I have lots of patience. Sometimes I say stuff and you don't do it, or I feel like you haven't really, you know, submitted to me. But it's not even like it's a lot of times, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just like in very petty things, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just patient because number one, you're a human being, you have blood running through your vein, you have emotions, you have a faculty of your own, your thinking faculty. So it's just patience that God is doing the work in me and he's doing in you. And honestly, never really, I don't think it gets to that point where we perfectly are submitting and we're perfectly are leading. So there will always be mistakes here and there will always be gaps here and there. But when you trust the person that you got married to, you trust their heart and you know that they are given to God. And so you trust God that works in them. So long story short is that it's your first time being married.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Even the man who's saying, oh, my wife doesn't submit well to me. If you look at yourself critically, you're not even leading her well. If you understand that your wife is having patience
With how you lead her.
if you understand that,
Yeah.
you will also be patient with how she's being unsubmissive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are telling me that on their first dates, he gave her mathematics questions to... There's nobody around that Ari that can just knock her nose for me. Some of y'all are saying that he actually dropped out, that he don't even have a degree qualification. So a nigga without a degree qualification is telling... Yeah, Ari, I'm talking to you, girl. I'm talking to you, girl. You are quite literally training. I mean, you are even trained for you to be calculating risks. How the hell did you get here? What the fuck is that? You are pissing me off. You this beautiful lady. You are pissing me off. You this gorgeous queen. You are really pissing me off. Do you not see what this man is doing to you, my girl? What the hell is this? And you doing this shit with a smile on your face. You probably thinking that you got to take up for him just because he's your husband. And we're telling you that nigga ain't even supposed to be a husband in the first fucking place. Oh my God. Ugh. He wanted to even go after Diary of a Nigerian Girl. Ife, wow, he's bold. I'm so glad that never happened. I don't even see how that could have ever happened. She probably clocked that nigga shit from the jump. What the hell? Ari, Justin, go to the statistic. You're trained to look at probability and probabilitoire. What the hell is the probability that this nigga is really for you? He's not for you, my boy. We have seen this type of equation play out time without number. There's some people in the comment section that were like, you know what? Given this thing that she's trying to get into, maybe she's using this guy as a case study. And Queen Ari, if that is what you are doing, you're a lot more diabolical than I'm giving you credit for. Go ahead. But if you're really thinking that this thing that you are in is somehow type of a good thing and it's meant for you, I'm gonna need you to love yourself a little more than that, okay? I'm starting to think that the insecurity inside of you is a lot. Now, I don't know you, obviously, but girl, we've seen this shit play out. We have seen this shit play out multiple times. Like, you can adequately predict what the dynamic is. And you guys are even giving us more material because the stuff that y'all be saying, we know we are correct. No matter how much y'all want to come up here and be like, oh, it's your marriage. Somebody came to come and comment on my other video. Oh, we're jealous, so we should leave them alone now because they don't marry us. Both of you to think we want this. We have deconstructed the lies that was fed to us as girl children regarding this whole marriage, kinigogo, eleye. We've broken that shit down. We've seen y'all niggas for who y'all niggas really are. And a lot of us have chosen, even if it's not to be ambitious, just give me my peace. It's not that deep to be married, my boy. It's not that deep. I promise you. Your room in heaven is still secure if you don't find your kingdom husband. Jesus is your husband. So what are you trying to say? Jesus is not enough for you? Is that what you're trying to tell me? At least Jesus loves you. This you know. Sally Bushai does not love you. That nigga is fucking jealous of you. He wants to be you. He wants to be you. Rebecca, wake up. Even if you're using this guy to do projects for your certification. You're so dedicated. And I hate that for you. Because what the hell? I can't believe that. He gave her a mathematical question to solve on the first day. You got to be joking. You cannot write that shit. You know, some of us, we used to watch all these Tyler Perry movies and we're thinking that Tyler Perry is doing too much. He's exaggerating. No, he's not. These women will really do some shit just to say they misses. Misses of what? I don't know how anybody can look at Sally Bushai. You go and look at Sally Bushai and you'll be like, you can send. It must be the Mekwao. A lot of people are speculating that Sally actually hates his wife. I don't think he hates his wife yet. I think he wants to be Ari. Because check this shit, yeah. You know what they used to be having Nigerian girls, where you go and find somebody who is going to parara you and japa you in a type of kept wife type of way. This is what they be trying to use to have a typical Nigerian woman. Abi, ain't that exactly what happened to that man? They had to uproot you out of the shackles of poverty and transport you in a jackpot type of way to Iya Charlie. And you cannot sit up here and say that she was making squalor in Nigeria. The ones that have somehow cracked the matrix of making squalor in Nigeria, they are not so excited to leave Nigeria because they've cracked the matrix of making squalor in Nigeria. Thank you. I genuinely believe that he wanted to be the one to jeopardize his wife. Actually, I think he's the one that wants to be an actuary. He wants to be the one that has this promising budding career. As far as we know, his career is microphone to talk about woman. As far as we know, that's what he has on his repertoire, which a lot of people have told him multiple times. It's not really something that it's giving light skin behavior. It's not something that she's really proud of, to be honest, because yikes. But then look at what she got going on. When we found out who she was, after we saw that his write-up, because we saw that write-up, you are not the most beautiful. Yeah, you are such a fuck. We saw that write-up and we thought to ourselves, who could he be talking about like that? And why is she with him? And then we found out who she was. And we found out who she is. And we said, sister, are you okay? Because how the hell are you all of this? And you come for that. You see what I mean? At every single juncture, even the things that people could have used to insult the woman, they were still accolades. Sister, you're all the way here. That nigga is barely scratching the surface. That is still an accolade. But all the insults that have ever been landed to him, there was no accolade attached. It was just undiluted insult. Really and truly, we don't know nothing that nigga got going for him, except for coming and yarn nonsense about women. Right? But Ari, on the other hand, we see what we can identify that is going for her. We can say where this one is going, where this one is coming from. And I genuinely believe that deep inside of his brokers, it pisses him off so bad that he's not the one that Japaluski, the one that is meant for him in the kingdom Jesus Christ type of way of marriage. That's what I think. Because when you hear the stuff that this man has to say, the things that he says so concretely, so succinctly, so concisely about women, you would not necessarily expect him to be with a woman like Ari. That is why a lot of people are really convinced that Ari cannot be happy. But she don't come down home. She's very ecstatic. She's home, y'all. She love it there. I think what people fail to understand is there is quite literally somebody for everybody. It sounds crazy that a self-respecting woman can end up with Sally Bushai, but it's very possible. It is very, very possible. Here are my predictions on nobody asked for. I predict that she is probably gonna fuck that nigga up real bad. I don't know how, but my intuition usually don't used to lie. But I feel like she's gonna fuck that nigga up real bad. Number 2, he is gonna bring her down to his level. And the second one is already happening right now. You see the whole situation with Anima Kole, you're welcome, and the innocent man that is wearing 2 faces. Back in those days, any type of acquisition, inclination, now she go can't defend the man. We not go hear anything. When they came and say, it's a drug addict, now she can't say, what? Not my man. When they come break up in the guy can't the twitch. It's not us that came and said it's given addict. That is what we're witnessing in this present whole 7-year situation, and he's there going back and forth with Tiasha. That's what I think is happening. He's going to successfully bring her down to his level, and she's going to forget who she is, and then he's not going to elevate on top of her, and finally actually will go her in his brain. No, it doesn't have the. We live in a capitalistic society, okay? It's the one that is having the squalor, that is the Ozogu Parara. Now she gets squalor. There is no way, even her myself, she can come and sit down here and cover the guy's bum as much as we want to. But sister, there is no fucking terrestrial way that you subscribe to the nonsense that nigga says completely, and you are the major breadwinner in that house. It's simply cannot possible. Simply cannot possible. We'll see how everything pans out. Because wow, you can't they do me like say this marriage thing a humiliation ritual.
Because of Solomon Buchi and his wife, I have gone back to writing. Yes, I have gone back to writing, guys, because I'm fed up. I'm fed up of the things he posts. I'm fed up of seeing her online. Like, I didn't even know what she looked like until when he did that post about you're not the most beautiful. I was like, what the heck is he talking about? Then I found out what she looked like. I was like, this girl is stunning. Like, what the heck? And since then, it just went downhill for me. Like, so here is like my thoughts. Number 1, his hostility towards feminism has to be studied. Because if you knew Solomon Buchi Facebook days, he was pro-women. He did beg for laptop. He used to be in women's DM like no man business. There's screenshots, there's evidence. Go online and go do your check-in. He frames feminism as destructive, anti-family, anti-male, ignoring that the diversity in feminism, the nuance within the feminist movement. That's number 1. His messaging is contradictory. This guy can contradict himself in just a simple tweet. He's a walking contradictory. If you are so anti-feminist, why is your wife working? Why is your wife, if you think the woman should be there at the formative years of the child's life, and you guys have a son now, you should be out here hustling and be bragging, yeah, I made this amount of money, my wife is a stay-at-home wife. No, you're contradicting yourself, bro. Your wife is working harder. And you use social media because you know how to weaponize social media. You learned through being pro-feminist, pro-women on Facebook, you knew how to get people in. And now you're now using rage to get people in because now you're anti-feminist. So what does this mean for his marriage? The power dynamics in this marriage is funky. It's funky, guys. What I mean is funky. Despite this woman being so accomplished, she's a university graduate. She works as an agricultural scientist. So you must know economics, you must know maths, you must know this type of big subjects. Not everybody's Okolo can do agricultural science or actuarial science, but she did there. You're so accomplished, but then you're out here defending his anti-feminist views. Isn't that an imbalance? Like, 2 + 2 is not making 4 here. You benefit from feminism, yet you are defending your husband's anti-feminist stance. Okay. I feel like there's signs of emotional control. The fact that you always have to come and clarify, jump online, to soften your husband's messaging, to make it sound somewhat pleasing to the average person's ears, especially with this new video that you want to do. It looks like you are obligated to protect this man's image. He doesn't even protect yours. Because the fact is that if he was about to post something like that could ruffle some people's feathers, why didn't he check it with you in the first place? He posted it, and he has gotten so much flack online. Maybe in the workplace, people have mentioned about it, and it's like, what the heck is your husband talking about? And you have to come on camera to soften, to clarify, to say that, oh, you love your own job, you love your own son, you want to be there for your own son. Okay, you want to be there for your own son, why haven't you quit your job? Why haven't you quit your job? Really and honestly, if you really truly agree, quit. But you're here telling us that, oh, you're still doing exams. Okay, so we should exempt you. And that's why I think you guys are a working contradiction in your marriage, because nobody needed to know your business in the first place. But we now know that not only have you given birth, gone back to work, you're sitting exams because you want to qualify. But your husband's out here saying, ideally, it should be the woman. He could have just said the fact that studies has showed, I am doing the job of being there right now because my wife is doing X, Y, Z. Everybody's like, okay, you're talking to your own situation. You didn't quit your job. In all your video, you say you love your job. You like it. And the thing is, you make it seem like feminism doesn't want women to balance. Yes, we do. Aren't you seeing the campaigns people are doing? Even women are fighting for men to get 6 weeks paid leave so that they can be present fathers in the formative years of their kids' life. Women are fighting for better maternity pay so that women can be at home with the kids but still have the security of going back to a job, because everybody knows you need to put food on the table. Ugh. The thing is that she doesn't realize that she represents the exact success story feminism fights for. The fact that you can be educated, the fact that you can open a bank account, the fact that you can even bring the Solomon Buchi from Nigeria to the UK. Yes, that's what feminism has been able to fight for. But you're out here saying defense, doing videos, setting up tripod. Oh my Leo. It's very my own is, if I was to advise her, you shouldn't be doing voluntary spokesman. You shouldn't be doing voluntary spokesperson. I'm really sorry. If you really do agree with your husband, regardless of how he wrote it or what he wrote, you should just keep quiet. Keep quiet, let him keep posting. If you really do believe what he said is right, stop coming out here and defending him, because you're putting yourself in a firing line. You could end up saying something that technically you don't agree with in the next 5 years, and you change your mind. But the evidence is there. You're out here defending someone who's very misogynistic, patriarchal, and very sexist. Okay? Allegedly, that's what people are claiming, especially with some of these tweets. I'm just like, I don't even think he's any of these things. I just think he's rage baiting at this point. That's my view. I don't think he's misogynistic. I don't even think he's anti-feminist. I just think he's rage baiting. Because every time you read his stuff, the agenda is not even love, kindness. It's not even Christian centered in a sense. Like, nothing to do with God. It feels there's a lot of rage he has for women. I don't know. I think that she should stop watering down his anti-feminist views, especially the extreme ones. Like, let it be. Like, why do you need to reframe his words? If you really want to reframe his words, start telling him, draft your tweets. Every Friday, I review all your tweets before you tweet them, and then you can post. That's what she should be doing. But no, you want him to post, and then you'll now be doing voluntary spokesperson. You know, get work, we all have work. I just feel like she needs to understand there's professional repercussion at stake now. Because some of the tweets he's been doing lately, I'm just like, how is she coping if people know this is her husband? Like, people will be thinking that she definitely believes in this regressive beliefs. And sometimes when you see some of her videos, I'm just like, oh, does she actually agree with this? Watch her videos. You'll be like, that sounds slightly different, but kind of she agrees. It confuses me. I'm just like, okay, so are you agreeing with this man, or what are you trying to do here? Like, I get confused. That's why I don't follow them. I cannot. I see their videos because I'm in spaces where people react to their content. I think she needs to be aware that her public image is at risk. Like, she could end up being in spaces where people feel uncomfortable with her because of the views her husband has expressed online, and those views that she has defended. Especially when you're working in the diverse and progressive spaces, you have to be very careful. You have to be very, very, very careful. I think, I just think she should just stop coming online. Personally, since you agreed, let nobody know your face anymore. Let people just know your husband's face as a person that's anti-feminist. Because ultimately, that video, nowhere did you say you will quit your job. So technically, you don't agree with your husband. What your husband is preaching is not what you're actually practicing in your home. If it truly was, they would be like, oh my God, they believe what they're saying, they stand by it. But you don't. You love your job. That's why you're doing your exams. That's why you're pursuing it with vim. So let other women do the same thing. Let other women figure their own balance the same way you have figured your balance as well. The end.